I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Listen, man, I like options in pizza, okay? I don't always just want the 12-inch. Sometimes I want the 14-inch pizza. Sometimes I'm a fat kid who likes pizza.
I love pizza.
I'm just saying. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. DoubleTSportsNetwork.com and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Discussing in the break, completely off topic, just so to catch you guys up. I'm going to have to get a freezer. My new refrigerator and freezer combo is a side-by-side. And there's not a lot of room in that freezer. Like, not really sure I could get a turkey in my freezer. Like, I'm not sure it's wide enough. Like, a half-gallon ice cream container might be about as wide as it goes. Yeah, it's a small freezer, so I'm going to get a freezer. So if you have a great way to get a freezer, let me know. I'll take the free advice. Great. Skylar Gill Howard had surgery yesterday. I don't know that that's a surprise. Off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I was not expecting him back at all after the game last week. I think the surgery and the prognosis they were talking about gave me hope for the end of the season.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's going to carry any water with it, but I was expecting to have him done for the year at the end of the year. At the end of the game last week.
Yep.
I'm kind of adopting Jamie's moniker for being a Bills fan. Expect the worst, hope for something a little bit better. And I think that's what we're getting is a little bit better. This off the Yates Flooring Center chat line from Lindell Jeff. I'm stressed about having to access to ESPN Plus and such when my wife finally pulls me in the nursing home someday. I can't remember all my passwords as it is. That's why there's that safe password option. That helps you.
Yeah, there's a lot of passwords nowadays.
Matt, while you are there, the NBA season is about to start. How are you feeling about the Celtics? I'm feeling pretty confident about the Mavs. Just hope we can stay healthy, and as long as Megan Thee Stallion doesn't pull a Tony Braxton, we should go far in the playoffs from Mr. B. I never want anybody to have to deal with a Tony Braxton. As a professional athlete, that's just not a fun thing to have.
Since we're in the football season, we won't dive into this. Celtics, I don't feel good about. The Mavs, I think the Mavs and Spurs will both have good seasons. I actually think the Cooper flag appears to be legit and for real once Kyrie gets back, maybe towards the end of the season, middle of the season at best. You could be in serious contention for a NBA championship back in Dallas, which would be awesome. Spurs, I think they're a little bit away. Wemby will carry you. I think you'll be maybe a play-in team at best. And your Houston Rockets with their newest addition of Kevin Durant coming back to his college home, not his home, which is in Washington. I do not think Houston will be that good.
I had to remember earlier. Like, I had to be reminded that he was with the Rockets now.
Yeah. They have an okay roster. They're down a starting point guard. They have no salary cap to go find a point guard now, so it's gonna be a really rough team. Historically, Kevin Durant ruins teams.
Yes.
So, you can bring up Golden State. They were already a winning team before he got there, but we'll see how it goes. But it's football season.
It is.
Arizona State.
Yeah, well, uno momento on the Arizona State. I want to get to this one, too.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be nice to have every TV package provider to be able to offer NFL Sunday ticket package, and MLB extra innings, center ice, and an all-inclusive college football package? It would, but it would also be nice to wake up with a hot tub and, relax all day and not have to work. Those would also be nice. I think they have the same amount of chances of happening.
Yeah, and that would never happen because you make more money spreading out all that stuff.
It sucks.
And all these
I just want
NBA,
a hot tub, man.
MLB, all those, they make way more money by spreading out the pieces of the pie and making all streaming services say, hey, pay us. You can have 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm.
So
then everybody gets a piece of pie. So Tech, Arizona State this weekend.
Yes.
It is a 3 o'clock kickoff from the what is their moniker? Arizona's state motto. I used to know this, and I can't believe I don't know it now. State motto. They are... Arizona's motto is... No.
it's okay.
What the heck?
So you...
Ditus Deus, the official motto of Arizona, is a Latin phrase. Sure.
So you are fairly confident this week.
Yes.
Is that with or without Levitt playing?
Yes.
With or without Barron?
Yes.
So all up and down you
All
feel?
up and down, yes.
Okay.
It goes along this way.
Okay.
I am more worried about the Skylar Gill-Howard not playing aspect, even though I wasn't expecting him to play, than I am who your starting quarterback is or who their starting quarterback is. Because your defensive line and front seven overall has proved it doesn't matter what you do. We are going to come get you. Oh, look, you like running the football. No, you don't. Oh, look, you like dropping back to pass. No, you don't. Oh, look, you have a running quarterback. No, you don't. The only thing this Red Raider football team hasn't faced is like a true gunslinger. Just follow me here. I'm not comparing the two. A Tony Romo type escaping guy who is looking to keep going downfield. The Patrick Mahomes, the early Brett Favre, the early Aaron Rodgers, the Lamar Jackson-esque type guys. While Lamar can run, I think he wants to throw first. And I don't know, that's unfair to say, but that's the guy you haven't faced yet. You faced a running quarterback who can't throw, took care of him easily. You faced a pretty decent multi-role quarterback, but he was more run than pass in Houston, and he had some moments, but you took care of him. Kansas, I think Kansas has a good quarterback. You made him look silly. Minus 2 plays.
Yep.
There were 2 plays in the entire game for your defense that one of them was, I think the way I believe what the coach said was that it was one of them was a blown coverage and one of them was a missed assignment. And I think that's how he worded it. Like one of them one guy made the wrong turn and one of them that was in a bad situation. So when Shield Wood said that, I was like, oh, so they've got this down to 2 plays that they weren't happy with. And those happen to be the 2 big plays.
Yeah.
They're giving up a bunch of yards short. Oh, no. What does that mean? I've got a bunch of linebackers and defensive linemen in the way to try to bat a ball up to get a hand on it. And this team has proven they can do that. You've got linebackers that love to make tackles and defensive linemen that are forcing the issue on the offensive side of the ball. That it is none of the other things that we have talked about with regards to the quarterback or receivers or running backs or whatever has me worried in this game because of that defensive line and the depth that they have.
Okay. If Levitt doesn't play, I echo everything you said. If it is Jeff Sims who plays, he is a consistent turnover machine everywhere he's been. Arizona State, I believe he was at Georgia Tech prior to that. An athletic quarterback, not a very good running quarterback, or very good throwing quarterback. Decision maker is probably his poorest attribute, which needs to be your highest attribute as a quarterback.
It would help.
I think on the teams don't even match up on paper. I think Texas Tech is better in every aspect of the game. There's no question. I think a 10.5 point spread as of right now.
Is that what it is now?
Yep.
That it still feels light.
It feels light, but I don't want to, and I'm not in the locker room, so my thoughts and concerns and opinions don't really matter, and I'm just a nobody.
And they're not listening anyway.
Correct. I just don't want to overlook a team, especially if a backup quarterback's in play.
Also, not something I'm worried about.
The pressure mounts each week. You're 6-0. You have a legitimate chance to crack the top 5 this week or stay, at least stay where you are. But Ole Miss playing Georgia, you could slide up a spot. So
I am worried about a 3:00 kickoff. And then after the kickoff, I will no longer be worried about this game. It is the bottom line. 100.7 the score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
100.7 The Score, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff in for Choice, Matt in for Chris, and Roman in for Clint as we take you through your lunch hour here on the Bottom Line. Taking your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line at 107thescore.com or DoubleTSportsNetwork.com. I think Tech fans will be very impressed with Tempe and its scenery. It's very similar to Florida State. No boats, but lots of bikinis.
okay.
I'm guessing that's supposed to be boats. I think text fat-fingered happened. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing it's boats. And, there's a nice river that runs through there.
Arizona's nice.
I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Other than it's, who we're facing this week. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. I asked, do I want to get to this? Do I want to do that? You want to do an NFL thing? Or you want to do the college football thing I talked about in the break?
Let's do
What would you rather do?
Let's do college.
You want to do the college? Okay. We'll do the NFL thing later with Jamie. Texas Tech is one of several Big 12 games this weekend. And you could kind of dub this weekend, Matt, the Find Out About You week in the Big 12.
Okay.
Is kind of how I would look at it. As I'm looking at this schedule, 4 games are Big 12 elimination games, it feels like, for Big 12 championships. Obviously anything can happen afterwards. Like, it's not locked in. But winner of Tech, Arizona State has a hill to climb. Winner of Utah, BYU, loser of Tech, Arizona State has a hill to climb. Loser of Baylor, TCU has a hill to climb. Loser of Utah, BYU has a hill to climb to get back into the conference championship conversation.
Okay.
Am I nuts in thinking that? I'm nuts for a lot of things. That doesn't mean I'm nuts.
No, I think you can claim this as a separation week for sure. I think the games, like I said, you said it all right. I think the only, Oklahoma State has no chance. I actually think that Cincinnati's appearing to be much stronger than what people thought they were to start the season. Now they do have a kind of a tough schedule as you look through. They have a cupcake this week. They still have Utah and Arizona on the schedule, going into Utah. So that's going to be a tough game for them. But I the more Cincinnati plays, I'm actually starting to kind of believe in them. Texas Tech and Arizona State, I think Texas Tech does handle that. The Utah BYU game, I think that can be an eliminator game, especially for Utah. If Utah loses and has those two losses on the books, I think that could be close to the end for them for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
And then the Baylor TCU and the Arizona Houston game. So a lot of interesting games this week going on in the conference.
It's interesting. You didn't mention West Virginia at UCF. I think that might be the tightest game this weekend.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It doesn't mean anything.
It just doesn't mean anything for the conference. It's more of now. It's just, can we make a bowl game? And we've been there.
Oh,
as
sure.
Texas Tech fans, right?
It wasn't so long ago.
The fan base of the Red Raiders have been there a lot where you're sitting there with a 3-3 or typically for Texas Tech, you start off hot and then you just accumulate a few losses, and then you're looking, week 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got to make a bowl game. we got to make a bowl game. So I think that's where those two teams are. So that game to me holds no weight outside of the people that attend or are fans of those schools.
Other than the Tech game, are you going to try to catch any of these other ones?
I mean, I'll try to tune in for the Utah BYU.
You just weren't real enthused with it. That's the only reason I asked.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Well, so I don't get really enthused unless it's a Tech game or it's like a 1 versus 2 kind of thing.
That's fair.
Doesn't mean I don't have interest in it. I'm just not like, hey, I'm going to carve out my schedule this Saturday for this game.
No, absolutely.
I'm still going to try to keep up with this game. And
you've got one of those things. What's the word I'm looking?
A kid.
Wife and kid.
Yeah. So I'll dabble in. It's one of those games. I'll keep the game on. I have 2 TVs in my office. I'll keep it on, and I'll peek back into the office periodically, along with checking my phone as the game goes on. That's kind of where I'm at with that game.
What outcome this weekend would surprise you?
Outside of Arizona State pulling off an amazing upset, or an incredible, not amazing. Good grief, look at me. Not amazing.
Outside of Oklahoma State winning.
You took that one off the board too?
I'm just taking that one off the board. If you want to say Arizona.
No. I think if Utah won this week, it would surprise me.
Really?
I think that I think Dampier is just not that good of a quarterback.
I don't disagree.
And I think BYU is good enough on all fronts to match, especially on the defensive side, to match the offensive line of Utah. So it would actually shock me if they went in and beat BYU. I think BYU handles this game pretty easily.
The reason I'm giving Utah, why I look at that game and go, I'm not surprised by either outcome.
It's only a 3.5-point spread as well, but I think BYU covers.
Sure, no, yeah. I don't care. I'm not a gambler, so I don't really care about the spread other than for sports conversation. When I look, the thing I give Utah credit for, and I need it to stop because I don't like giving Utah credit for things. So a stat that I have discovered, and I say this only because I found it this weekend and I've just been amazed by it. The conference-only stats.
Okay.
So we're getting rid of all of the yeah, but games. Okay. These are programs that you are competing with on a day in and day out basis that should have the funds from all share the same funds from the conference, that get their own boosters, and these are quality programs across the board, right? Texas Tech has given up 38 points in conference play. That number is mind-boggling to me. Of course, I'm not surprised by it. We sat there and watched it. It's 38 points. It is 20 points better than the 58 that Utah has given up. Now, what's interesting about that number? 34 of them were to Texas Tech.
Yeah. So that
now, if you want to come back
24.
at me and say that Arizona State wasn't trying in their game with Utah, so they got a yeah but type atmosphere with what Utah was facing, I might be willing to concede part of that argument. But it goes Tech at 38, Utah at 58, and then Houston at 72. You have faced, technically, 2 of the top 3 defenses in the conference already.
Yeah, BYU and Houston are tied at points again. Or points, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I missed BYU right after that. So 3 of the 4. And you face one of them in practice every day, being the Tech one. That number is astonishing to me, and I've got to give Utah credit for that, which is why I think that can make that a game because of how good their defense is. You were just able to have success against it. Nobody else has.
BYU, to me, feels like a team that they thrive in those close games. Like they've clearly they're undefeated, but every one of their wins when it comes to the Big 12, I mean, they barely beat Colorado. But they beat them. Beat West Virginia by 14, but you gave up 24 points to West Virginia at home. at home, at your place.
Yep.
You gave that up. And then again at Arizona, you went into Arizona and won that game by 6. I still like BYU to win that game.
I'm very much cheering for BYU to win that game.
I think they win that game. I think that I just don't think Dampier. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. I just think that you just force him to throw.
When it comes to the holy war here between Utah and BYU, it really comes down to 3 simple aspects of this. BYU wanted to join the conference. They were happy to join the conference when they did. Utah came in because their conference dissolved around them and they stuck their nose up in the air. Number 2, BYU gave us ice cream. Listen, I don't care who you are. If you're offering me ice cream, I'm not going to be mad at you. And their AD isn't a jerk like it is in Utah. So,
It's like they lured you in behind the
I'm
alley.
not joining any
here,
cult.
Jeff.
I'm not rooting
Jeff.
for them to win against us, but I have no problem having them kick
Drops
the
of ice cream like
out of
Hansel and Gretel.
Utah.
Just follow the drops.
I will follow the ice cream, yes. Matt, enjoy the rest of your day, sir. Jamie Lent is on his way next here on the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the bottom line on 100.7 The Score, TSportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Before we get to Jamie's question of the day, I do want to get this text in. I missed it earlier, and I happened to catch it just a few minutes ago during the break, so I apologize. Dear Jeff, how are you? I am fine. Do you feel like it's Tech versus the Big 12 with all of our success in every sport? Do we have any allies in the Big 12, or should we make a Change.org petition to join the SEC as one Rob Bro has proposed? Doesn't seem like your mark is looking for the best interest of the flagship school. Thank you for making me relive the Tech Land Thieves game in 2008. Gordo. This was before you got here, so I'm sure if he knew you were here that he would say that hello to you as well. Yeah, I think your mark has the best interest of the conference. I don't think as much as I want Texas Tech to be the flag bearer when it comes to the sports in the Big 12. I don't know that they are there yet. And I am happy to not join the SEC until it becomes the only 2 conferences in and run things in the Big 12 for a while. But that's me. As for allies, depends on the conversation. I think what I do like about this conference as it currently sits, well, there are some things that everybody is very much against Tech on, that it is still a conference that you've got 16 schools pulling the rope in the same direction. It's not one guy saying, well, this is what we're going to do, and everybody having to follow. And I kind of like that. But that's me. Let's get to Jamie's question of the day.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
I would like time afterwards to comment
Okay.
to Gordo as well, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jamie's question today, involving the Red Raider football game with Arizona State tomorrow. Which player on offense do you expect? You know what? Let's change that. Yeah, no. I'm going to keep it. Which player on offense do you expect to have the biggest day tomorrow? Obviously, last week it was Cameron Dickey. Who is this week's Cameron Dickey? Who's the star of the offense this week?
The fun answer.
Not who you want, but who you expect.
Sure. Who do I say? Yeah. The fun answer for this, and only because it would involve special teams plays, would be your former 5-star recruit. Because that means he's running some back for a touchdown. That would be fun. That would be the fun answer. I don't know that that's the answer I'm going with. Who do I think? You know, I will go with a wide receiver. And I'm going to go Caleb Douglas.
Okay.
I think you're able to throw the ball. And I think this is the game that he can break out in. I think that will be fun.
Okay. I feel
like
like
that
he's
answer.
starting to break out. I think the last couple of games he's been a much bigger factor for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Roman. I caught him while he's taking a drink.
Yeah, you took my answer at first, but that's fine. I was trying to think about it too. I'm also gonna go wide receiver, different wide receiver. I'm gonna go Coy.
Okay.
He's been quiet the last couple of weeks, it feels like a little bit.
He has. Yeah, I think part of the issues is the quarterback that's been going on. It's kind of hard to find a connection with the quarterback when you're having to keep swapping back and forth. But I think who is playing? Is it Hammond for sure? That's
No.
going to be quarterback, or it's not for sure yet. Yeah,
Nothing's for sure. I will be very, very surprised if it's not Baron Morton.
I do think that regardless, when we've been watching the games, I've seen Coy wide open on a number of plays, and it's just been either pressure to the quarterback or bad reads. And I think, or at least I hope, the coaching staff has been taking note of that, and they're going to kind of address it. Like, hey, he's been open a lot. Like, give him the ball, give him a chance.
I think early in the season you would look at plays, and if you were watching one specific wide receiver, you'd be like, hey, that guy's wide open. Why didn't he get the ball? And then you realize that the guy that he did throw to also
was
wide
wide
open. So you understand.
They've had some options
Yeah.
they've had some options for the wide open.
I think this question would be, or the answer to this question would be completely different if Will Hammond was going to be the starting quarterback over Baron Morton, because Will in, specifically look to last week, Kansas was so bad against the run that you use Will to run the ball, and you didn't throw it as much. Hammond went 7 of 16 through the air last week, but when you really got going in the second half, it was with him running the football. But I think Baron Morton is going to start. So, and you look at the numbers for Arizona State, they're much better defending the run than they are defending the pass.
Mm-hmm.
And which obviously is different than Kansas was last week. So I think it's going to be more difficult to run the football this week. But if your offensive line plays like they did last week, you might not have a big struggle. You might be able to just, no matter if they're good or not, you may be able to overtake them. But I think it's more the passing game this week. And I'm going different from you guys. I'm going Terrence Carter. Okay? I think he's a big-time X factor for the Red Raider offense, and I just feel like so much attention is put on those wide receivers, specifically the two guys that you just mentioned. Throw Reggie Virgil in there as well. I think Terrence Carter is going to have a big day. Maybe it's not like 10 catches, but maybe it's like six catches and 2 of them are for scores.
I'd be completely okay with all of that.
Yeah.
And I think everybody else would be as well.
Yeah. He had your, one touchdown reception last week?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So your chance to reply to Gordo.
Okay. Okay. Let's get to the part. Do you feel like the Big 12 with torts and our success in every sport? Okay. I mean, you just maybe just slow down in every there. Okay?
Well, sure.
Yeah. It feels like Red Raiders right now rolling in
2 sports.
Oh, no,
Well,
more
3,
than 2.
4.
Football, men's basketball, softball, track. I mean, golfs are pretty good, right? Yeah. I wouldn't say, every sport is at the top of their game right now. Okay? Is that fair?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I feel like
there's a team looking for
Gordo
their first Big 12 win currently.
Gordo kind of jumped the gun a little bit there. I don't know if we have any allies. I don't think, and I'm not blaming us for this. I think that is a really good question. I'm not blaming us. I'm not mad at the way we've put together this roster, similar to what you did in softball and the way you have over the last few years in basketball. The way you've put together the roster, there's obviously a lot of jealousy going on, right? Mm-hmm. We're playing the game and we're playing it well, okay? And I don't know that everybody loves us because of it. So I don't know what the allies are. I don't know if you have any. I'm not saying it's 15-1 necessarily, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like we have. And I kind of feel that way like across the country. The big boys of college football are like, we didn't invite you to join us. And the little boys are like, hey, a year ago you were hanging out with us. Why do you get to sit at the adults table now? Mm-hmm. Okay? And so I don't know if we have a lot of friends right now. I also don't care. Okay? I really don't. There's some joy in it as far as I'm concerned. So calling us the flagship school, there's right now our athletic department has to be one of the best in the conference. I mean, just as a whole, right? Calling us the flagship school, I don't know, that seems a little bit arrogant. I don't know.
Have you seen how good the defense is?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Have you seen how good our basketball team is?
Yeah.
With the Big 12 Player of the Year preseason guy over there?
I like your question, Gordo, about whether or not we have allies. I think the answer, unfortunately, is no. And then the second part of that is, do we care? It's probably good to have some allies.
I would like some allies.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we have a lot of them right now. As far as Rob Bro and his change.org, how can you make the jump to the SEC when the SEC has not invited you? You don't just call them up. This is like Jeff, knocking on the front door of a 10 in high school and be like, hey, I'm here to take you on a date.
Hey,
She's
man,
like, I don't even know who you are, dude.
That's not true. I'm loud enough. Everybody still knows me. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Bottom line rolling on here on 100.7 The Score, TSportsNetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Tech and Arizona State tomorrow, 2 o'clock right here on 100.7 The Score. And if you just demand pregame coverage, Optimum Game Day Live starts at 7 o'clock over on Double T 97.3. All right, Jamie, we've been talking a lot of Texas Tech football and Big 12 football today, as we should. But there's something else going on, and I kind of want to know these answers. I'm sure I'm not the only one that wants to know these answers. Texas Tech baseball in fall scrimmage time, getting ready for the Red-Black Series, which is coming up in a few weeks, right?
Yes, expected.
Yeah, they haven't announced the dates yet.
The last couple of years, I thought they have done something that's really smart, and they basically wait to get the forecast.
Yeah.
And so they're not letting you know a month out. Seems like they let you know about, week to 10 days out.
Yeah. When the forecast hits.
Yeah, and so they can make sure that the weather's going to be good for the dates that they want to choose and how that affects the times.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What is it today? The 16th? 17th. I probably find out a week or so from now, and it'll be like the last week of October, first week of November, something like that.
That being said, you have had the opportunity to see some things with the new guys that have come in, and some guys that are coming back for some injuries, and some guys that are coming off of an okay year and looking for something better from the practices that you've been able to take on. And you can read a lot of your thoughts on TSportsNetwork.com on how different pitchers have done. But let me ask you some blanket, just run-of-the-mill questions here.
Okay.
Are you seeing a difference in this year's team compared to last year's team at this time?
I don't mean to skirt around the question here, Jeff, but it's hard to tell. Okay,
Fair answer.
Especially with the pitching. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's really what we're questioning or wondering about, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were a good offensive unit last year. You had times where you struggled to win without hitting, unless you were hitting home runs, and you didn't hit with runners in scoring position or clutch situations. I get it. So there's that. But for the most part, you were a good offense last year. I think you should be a better offense this season. Okay, I know you lost Damian Bravo from your offense, which that's a big blow because he was a great player for the Red Raiders. Mm-hmm. But, man, I don't know from what you had at the end of the season last year on offense, I don't know that you're – I mean, because even T.J. Pompey, who was a good offensive player for you early, he missed –
almost all the season.
Yeah, like the last two-thirds of the season. So he wasn't there for you, and he's now gone to Arkansas.
Always comes back to Arkansas.
You lost Dylan Maxey to the transfer portal. Davis Rivers had beaten him out at the catcher position at the end of the season. So your third base position was a little bit of a black hole offensively all season long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you're not crying about not having that guy or those guys. It's been a couple guys back in that spot. So, and honestly, for example, Davis Rivers, won the job at the end of the season last year as the catcher. He might be third on the depth chart.
At catcher?
At catcher.
Okay.
Okay. I think he's going to spend the majority of the time as a DH. Okay. You should be much better offensively. So to get to the point on the pitching staff, in the fall, and I will say it feels a little bit different the way that the two Steves, as they call them, Foster and Perryman, the pitching coach and the director of pitching, how they handle the guys. And yesterday, 2 pitchers threw 3 innings. That was the first time this year I'd seen anybody go that deep.
Okay, so they're taking it slow.
Usually it's 1 inning or 2 innings. And I'm assuming that's just what they're doing. That's the way they're going to handle the fall. So it's hard to really gauge, right? If a guy, because you feel like, a guy can look great for 1 inning, but you're like, it was just 1 inning, right? Or a guy can have a bad inning, or maybe he gives up a couple of hits and gives up a run. You're like, well, man, he gave up. That's an ERA of 9 right there.
Right.
But it's hard when you're just pitching 1 inning.
Exactly.
Right. So it's difficult to gauge that. I would tell you, and I've said this before, I feel like the back end of the pitching staff definitely looks better to me. I'm still waiting to be wowed by some guys and be like, no doubt that guy's a weekend starter. Okay? I can look at Lucas Perko. I was
about to bring him up.
Okay.
Like you said, he was in competition in one of the stories.
I think he's in the mix. I think Jackson Burns, who was a weekend starter for the 1 weekend he was playing last year, but then got sick, and you lost him the whole entire season after that. I look at him and what we've seen from him and think, yep, he's got a really good chance. I'm telling you, the guy that's been the most consistently impressive all fall is a kid named Micah Henson. He pitched 3 times last year for Kansas State. 3 times.
That doesn't feel like very many.
That's not a lot. 3 times. He transfers to the Red Raiders. He's a lefty, and he's been terrific. Last time out, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. Okay? But again, it was just 1 inning, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, there's a lot of guys. We could talk about plenty more. Parker Hutera, now healthy, has looked great, coming out of the pen. I'm assuming that he stays in the pen. I mean, there's lots of guys. Jordan Espinoza, a left-hander that was a freshman last year, showed good stuff, but showed inconsistency, didn't throw enough strikes. He's still battling that a little bit, but he's looked way better, and he's got great stuff. And so, I mean, Espinoza he would have to feel like he's in the mix. So there's a lot of guys that I think have taken a step forward. You're just until you get to see them for 3, 4, 5 innings at a time, it's hard to gauge. Okay, this guy's dominating people, every inning. It looks easy for him.
I know you're not one to stick your nose in a place where other people are working with regards to the coaching staff, but have you heard anything around from conversations as you've been at practices, or that kind of let you got a glimpse in how things might be different on their side with the changes that they made?
Well, I know that bringing in 2 major league guys and the equipment that kind of comes with them of their working in the big leagues and the analytics side of things and the working that they've done with, a combined 45-ish years of coaching big league pitchers. and then knowing what they're using at the big league level to help teams, right?
Right.
And again, when I say what they're using, I'm talking about the equipment that comes with it. I mean, they call it the lab now over there at Tech. It's basically a pitching lab, and they can gauge everything that you're doing.
Can I take that class? I could have used a kind of a lab in
yeah, no
college.
doubt. And so I think you're just at a much higher level of finding every way possible to get the most out of what you have. Okay? So, I mean, we all know, it was just the conversation we had a minute ago about there are certain sports on campus right now that are rolling, and there are certain ones that aren't at their peak right now. Clearly, Texas Tech baseball is not at their peak, okay? And we know that there are certain sports on campus that are supported financially to the utmost degree that are not going to get outbid on players. We all know that's not happening.
That's not what.
So what Texas Tech baseball, in my opinion, is doing is saying they're putting the money they can more easily do it with their coaching staff and with the equipment to coach up the players that they have and try to entice those bigger, higher profile commits to come here because, hey, they can help you get to the next level. They can help you get better. And so that's, trying to make the most out of what you have. And I think in the long run, I think it's going to work great for them. Okay. Now, how quickly do things get turned around? I don't know. I mean, in the world of college sports nowadays, man, things can change dramatically in a hurry. So hopefully the way you're running your pitching staff right now compared to the way it was going previously, hopefully it turns for them in a positive way in a hurry. But like I would tell you, I like what you're seeing so far. A lot of quality arms. Just can they keep progressing in the right direction? Because I would tell you I felt good about what I was seeing at this time last year, and then it kind of fell apart. So hopefully this year's is with some new eyeballs, some new processes of doing things, some new opinions on how things are done.
Get a better outcome.
You'll end up with a better outcome. Yeah.
Jamie Lent does a Talkin' Baseball podcast, and I'm just gonna tell you should check out the link on TSportsNetwork.com. I just put it in there. There's a lot of great information there. This is The Bottom Line. One more hour to go.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is The Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is The Bottom Line, and time for you to get the opportunity to tell me I am wrong. And because I follow the rule around here as much as I possibly can anyway, of no math on the air, I have done the math ahead of time during the break. With the 38 points that Texas Tech has given up in conference play in their 3 conference games, that's averaging to just over 12.5 points a game. It's like 12.6 repeating. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to round up to 13 because you can't give up half a point. You can score 1 point, but you can't score half a point. Texas Tech football will not have to score more than 13 points the rest of the way in Big 12 play to win a game.
I'm going to say you're wrong. Just the odds are you are really high on this defense.
I am.
Yes. You're going to have a game where you're going to give up
20.
24 or something. Yeah, you're wrong. I mean, it's possible that you're right, but the odds tell me that you're going to be wrong.
That's the part that makes this insane. There's a part of us that is looking at how this defense has played this year and been like, I mean,
you just gave up 17 to Kansas in one quarter, Jeff.
Right. And I don't think you're going to face an offense as good as Kansas the rest of the way.
You also just gave up 17 to Kansas in one game. Just all happened to be in one quarter.
I just don't think you're going to face another offense as good as that Kansas offense that you don't face every day in practice because you don't have to worry about the points they score on you.
I mean, you're going to Kansas State. Just, do you know that's been a house of horrors?
I don't think it's the offense that's going to score with Kansas State. I think it's the defense that's going to score.
Yeah, I'm sticking with you wrong.
Okay. Roman,
As
13 points.
As highly as I think the defense is, I think someone's bound to score at least 14. Now, if you would have said 15, less than 15, I would have said, yeah, 100%. But I think someone's bound to get at least 14 points.
I'm probably crazy for this. I really am.
Are you hearing things?
No, not this time. I don't think Arizona State's offense is as good as Kansas's. We know Oklahoma State is not as good at anything as anybody you've played this year. I kind of wonder what Oklahoma State would do against Kent State or Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Here's the funny thing. Like, it could be Oklahoma State that does it because you're pounding them into oblivion and you take your
starters
first team
out.
defense.
Maybe
out.
I should have left this as your first team defense, your first and second team defense. Maybe that's how I should have worded this.
Nope, you didn't.
But I didn't.
You didn't?
Maybe BYU?
Yes. I mean,
Maybe BYU. But I'm like, nah, I like this. I'm sticking with it. The 13 points is enough to win. If your offense can get 2 drives right in a football game this year, I'm saying lock it up. That's it. We can go home now. Game's over. Sorry about you. Should have tried harder. See you next year in a different place. Like, that makes me nuts. I totally get it. That I might be making too much of this defense, but I don't know that that's crazy.
mm-hmm.
They've
I
earned
think
it.
you and Choice have been sitting too close together.
Think it's the chair, maybe? Because, like, normally I'm in here, and then when I get in there, he leaves. So, maybe it's the chair?
Maybe it is.
I don't know. I like the idea, though. I'm signing up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Locking it in.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Tech, 14 points is all you need. Makes offensive coordinator jobs easy. All right, something we haven't talked about at all today. And a little disappointing for my baseball fandom, but I also feel like it's totally understandable. We could have half the World Series decided tonight. And I don't feel like that's out of the realm of like what's expected with the Dodgers taking out the Brewers tonight. I also don't know that we'll know who's playing in the World Series completely on Monday night because of how that series is going with the Mariners and the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are the better team, but no home team has won yet. So I don't know how these are rolling, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
With regards to those 3 games. Would you be shocked if we get a Game 5 for Dodgers and Brewers?
5?
5.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'd be really surprised. Just for, the Dodgers are rolling right now, and for the Brewers to pick themselves up off the mat and win 2 in a row just seems like a big surprise. Just seems very unlikely.
Well, Game 4 is tonight. So
right.
Getting to a Game 5.
Just getting to a Game 5.
Yeah.
Would I be shocked? Probably not shocked, but I would be surprised.
They got to face Shohei Ohtani tonight.
Yeah, but he's not going to be in there very long.
It's probably not going to have to be. It has just been... what's the word I want?
Dominating?
Yes. That's a great word to use for what the Dodgers have done. But this postseason has been...
Here's the deal. The Dodgers are the most talented team. This isn't a deal where you look at their head coach and be like, man, what a great job he's done picking these guys up. And, at the end of the season, they've underperformed.
Mm-hmm.
They really have underperformed. Okay? Now, are they rolling right now and are they clicking at the right time? Absolutely. So good for them for clicking at the right time. And that's why all season long, no matter what the Brewers were doing, you asked me who the favorite is. I would have told you the Dodgers because they're the most talented. And that talent's coming through. And
Yeah.
guess who I'm going to pick in the World Series, Jeff?
Dodgers?
Dodgers.
Yeah, me too. It's more of... It is surprising to me that when they flip the switch for the playoffs, how bright that light was that they flipped on for everybody on their roster. Because the Brewers were playing good baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And they have made the Brewers look silly.
Fair enough.
And I'll also say that as much as I don't like this concept, none of my teams were involved in the playoffs. None of the teams we talk about on a regular basis were involved in the playoffs. And it's been really good.
The postseason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no,
overall.
It's been good baseball.
It's been fun. You've gotten some fun storylines out of it. You've gotten a completely crazy double play. You've gotten dominating pitching performances. You've gotten everything you could possibly want other than the Rangers and or Astros to be involved. Or have the Yankees win for you. Like, that's all you're missing.
They did beat the Red Sox, so that'll at least tide you over for a little while.
It's just been fun. Like, I haven't been locked in on the playoffs, but it's been enough that I wasn't... I don't know if you're like me. At the end of the season, I need to... If my team doesn't make the playoffs, I need a week off. I need to miss the first round.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I need a wounded... Now, granted, the White Sox weren't anywhere close, but for the Rangers, I need some time away. And it's helped that the Stars have started because I can catch those games, and I'm trying to learn. I understand hockey. I don't know hockey yet. I understand it, and I think that's the first step in learning is understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing. Didn't like what I saw last night after the first period, but we'll get to that at some point, maybe. I don't know. But I keep checking these baseball scores and keep going, man, this has been fun to have been a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Next year.
Hope so.
Coming up, your fact of the day on the way. Final thoughts from you guys and us on the bottom line. 100.7 Score.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.